Chrome LE in the blue. It is our French Zerg player, currently representing KAP with like a sponsorship temporary sort of a deal. It is Denver.
And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left position, representing Team Roddy. It is a very exciting Terran player from Spain. Give it up for Aqueron. Really good micro, really good, a lot of good fundamentals. Not at that top level just yet, but he's got a lot going for him, and I'm excited to see his development continue.
Man, me too. These are two players who are really fascinating. I think one thing we think about a lot as casters and viewers is where a player is sort of on the arc of their like success, right? So, I mean, if you think about like Innovation, who is just like a straight line of success, more or less all the way across for the last 10 years. You know, little ups and downs here and there, but just dominant for years. Denver and Aqueron are both these younger players. While Denver has already had a big bump of promise, like last year, the year before, where we kind of thought he might be the next big thing. He might be on par with like Raynor and Serral. He's dropped back just a little bit from what his expected results have been, and he's really struggled to put up big results in the past year. Whereas Aqueron is a player who's like just budding, just starting out. We haven't seen or heard a lot from him yet, but what we've seen and heard so far has been pretty dang good. So I'm excited to see where these players are. I feel like they're sort of in one of those weird connection points in their event or in their careers.
Yeah, I would at least, actually, I think maybe for both of them, I would say that they are very, very good players, a lot of potential, but neither of them is a fully complete player, I would say. This is really nice for Aqueron, by the way. He's going to find this drone trying to take this very, very quick third base. Will turn into an extractor there, so nice job from Denver. And is he going to try and cancel this and take a cheeky, sneaky option? No, not going to be the case. There we go. Does get that down. But yeah, no, I would say they're both very, very good players, but yeah, they still have a few gaps to fill in. They've got that aggression, they've got that control, they've got those mechanics, but maybe the more subtle areas, the really strong decision-making, the experience in terms of playing those high-level matches, I don't think they're quite there yet in terms of that. Now, Denver has played a lot of high-level matches, and I would argue that, to be honest, he's a little bit more complete of a player, but they both are still very much in development as players.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Very much in development as players. And I'm excited to see Aqueron picked up, of course, recently by Team Roddy. A great choice by Rotterdam. Aqueron, a promising young player. Denver's still, I believe, on the hunt for like a more long-term team ever since Infinity Gaming unfortunately closed their doors earlier this year, because he was a long-time member of Infinity Gaming. So hopefully he finds a good squad to marry up to soon, because we'd really love to see these players get nurtured in their talent and get something done. Early Fusion Core out from Aqueron here, Steadfast, and that could prove to be exciting. A bit of a... I feel it. Correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like this Fusion Core is a little bit later than I'm used to seeing them.
It's pretty reasonably
okay.
Reasonably timed. He is going for the third command center with this. Of course, Ice and Chrome, a very, very good mech map, and that means that something like Battlecruisers 3cc BC into mech is a very, very valid and strong way to play. Now, really nice denial from Aqueron on the scout. If he can actually prevent not just this Overlord, but this speed Overlord from getting in and seeing the Fusion Core, that would be so, so big. But I think Denver, yeah, he is going to commit in here, and he is going to see the Fusion Core, but he will lose the Overlord. Oh, maybe? It's going to be very close. Oh, one more shot, it will go down.
Yep, so nice catch there by Aqueron, but Denver should be armed now with the knowledge he needs, right, for defending against this. And immediately Spore 1, Spore 2, about Spore 3 going down, I imagine, very quickly. And the Hellion count getting very scary from Aqueron now. I've seen Aqueron do this Battlecruiser build before, this Battlecruiser harassment, and he is very strong with it. As you said earlier, very strong micro control out of this player. So Excited to see what he does. Interesting, you said earlier Ice and Chrome a mech map. I was kind of counting on Aqueron to maybe try and mech as well, but it looks like that's not going to be the case with the double engineering bay going down and the double barracks going down as well. Stim on the way. Aqueron going bio again this game.
Yes, he is. And Denver's going to see that at a very nice timing right now. He's going to see the stim. He's going to see the additional barracks. He's even going to see that battlecruiser pop out. And, well, seeing the starport swap off is also great info. Of course, when you go as a bio follow-up, it's very kind of unrefined to go for additional battlecruisers. It's not as tight. It means that your follow-up bio play is, you know, not as sharp. But still, getting the confirmation of that, very, very nice. And, ooh, Queens in the main, in great position. This battlecruiser not going to be able to get much value at all, just 2 drone kills. And now it's going to get forced into the corner, where it will be safe from these Queens.
Steadfast, remind me, which costs more, a battlecruiser or 2 drones?
Hang on, let me get my, let me open the calculator app.
Get your TI-84 out. You got some graphing to do, I think. But while Steadfast decides if that's a good trade for Aqueron or not, Aqueron's just going to go ahead and push with these Hellions forward. Already baneling speed on the way, and that Spire most of the way finished. Now, Denver has not been banking up a ton of gas, so we aren't going to see like this huge flood of mutas right away. But a lot of Zerg... Oh, nice catch on these Hellions, by the way. Going to snag them into the corner there, and they are all going to go down. Well done by Denver there, completely negating that risk without using a single baneling. But what we're not going to see is a ton of Mutalisks out right away, and he may even be saving it for Corruptors just in case.
I think he is going to go Muta, considering the design of the map and the fact that it was just this one battlecruiser.
Right.
Yeah, there we go, 2 Mutas on the way. But yeah, he does prioritize that +1 attack, those double upgrades, and even a couple more safety banelings here. Oh man, whoa, this battlecruiser. Oh, what? I was so sure those Queens were going to kill that off. Did they stop? Literally, it was 2 Queen shots to kill that. Did they stop firing for a moment?
I didn't see it. I didn't see them stop firing.
Or maybe 3 Queen shots, but it looked like they did. We are going to see this bio follow-up coming along. Very important that Aqueron keeps that alive, by the way. He has not gotten the value out of that yet.
Right.
Nice job making use of the fact that he picked off those creep tumors earlier, giving himself a little bit of an opportunity to try and find some damage with those stimmed Marines in the medevac. But Denver, he already has that Bane speed. He's already got a good number of mutas, and he just forces that back. No problem at all.
And the Mutalisk counts now had a chance to grow just a little bit more. So while he only started with 2 or 3 mutas out of that first, as soon as the Spire finished, he's now up to 9, which is a bit of a healthier number. And we're going to see Denver slowly grow a few more Mutalisks out. I've been seeing more and more of this style where you don't, previously when I watched Spire go down, nice little pick here, but he will be driven away. Previously when I saw Spire go down, you'd sort of count, right? You'd look how much minerals does he have? How much gas does he have? How many mutas can he make right away? And then he's going to surprise him with a big clump. And now more and more players are just like, you know what? 2 mutas is fine. 3 is fine. Oh, barely gets out of there. Does lose one.
I was just going to say, the most important part of that is retaining them. And as long as you do, you can slowly build that count. Unfortunately, losing one on a little bad angling here. He's got to get this Ling in position. It's not actually on the tower. And, well, that's a big opportunity missed. I do love the burrow play from Denver here. Against a player like Aqueron, who is going to tend towards so much aggression, and by the way, has gone for an 8 racks build here.
Wow.
Only a 5th gas here, not getting that 6th one. He's going to be going for a very, very large number of Marines off of just a single factory, and he's going to see what he can get done. Oh my god, these Widow Mines. What I mean to say is Zerg Widow Mines.
Come on, come on, come on. Okay, he's going to wait until a bigger, juicier hit is available. The scan just missing him, though. What a rough scan there from Aqueron. Seconds, or pardon me, millimeters away from grabbing those banelings.
And I actually really, really love the patience from Denver there. Denver is playing this out so perfectly, by the way. By not showing those Widow Mines, this is nice from Aqueron, picking off creep with the battlecruiser where he can. Oh, but he's going to lose it. Oh, my. He stays around too long. But look at this. He's prepared for a counterattack. Aqueron is going to find it, which is really, really nice. Very good reaction time from Denver, though.
Aqueron moving across the map. Hang on. Move your camera to the middle, please. Oh, God. Please. Oh, God. Oh, it's so close.
Please, go
it's
down.
So close.
No. Oh, the mutas. Bait. Bait, 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 bait,
Bait him.
bait.
He's trying. He's trying. He's like,
he's
come
trying
on,
so
come
hard.
on. You know you want to kill me.
Go after the
ya.
tanks. Do it. Oh, he's not gonna get it. He was so close. If those Banes were a little bit more split, oh my God, we'd be looking at like 60 dead Marines.
Man, that could have been so close. The Mutas still try to bring it back, but this does force Aqueron into a more defensible position with those Marines on the backside of the tanks, which is really nice. Saving those tanks from getting picked off by the Mutas in the back. Unfortunately, Aqueron, unfortunately for the viewers and everyone, Aqueron gonna make it out alive. But here's the mass surround right now from Denver, and Aqueron gonna lose all of his tanks there. The Marines forced to retreat. More Marines going over the Banelings, but still no Baneling. Oh man. Still no Baneling mines going down. And Aqueron actually still has a pretty sizable army there, despite Denver's really nice surround.
Yeah, and notably, Denver's 2-2 was not done during that fight, so Aqueron hitting a really sharp timing with this. 2-2 is about to finish up for Denver, but it's not done yet. Neither are these Banelings, and there's still a couple of tanks even here. Oh man, this is big, big problems for Denver. That Ling counterattack from earlier, not getting anything done. That base is going to get picked off. Now, Aqueron is mostly on creep, but Denver, he is mostly in trouble. He is really, really... Oh, he's going to lose the Baneling nest.
Oh no.
Man.
Not just the Baneling nest, but some transferring Mutalisks as well. His Mutalisk count now all the way down to just 8, which is really rough. The Baneling's going to try and rock and roll in here, but they're not going to get the taste they need. Aqueron getting driven back, but his splits are nice, and he's got a really nice job of keeping his pressure on. The tank's getting cleaned up by the Mutalisks in the back, which is really nice, but Aqueron's still keeping his pedal to the metal here. Denver in a lot of trouble.
Those were magnificent splits out of Aqueron right there. Ooh, a little bit lackluster right there, but he is going to be able to pick off most of the Banelings. And importantly, that Baneling nest reconstruction has not finished up yet. Now, Aqueron, he wants to keep the pressure on. He has built a 4th command center. He's got 3-3 on the way, so he's able to most certainly transition out of this. Oh, a nice panic wall right there from Aqueron. Gonna prevent these Lings from running in at that 3rd base. Even the Liberator's gonna provide and a little bit more utility, but I would have liked to see Aqueron try and go for a snipe on that 5th. It was isolated, he had medevacs he could jump back into, and the Mutalisk count was relatively low, so it was a relatively low-risk play, but it's not going to happen, and now Denver, well, he's going to have the opportunity to stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I was expecting Aqueron to march up north and just mow down this little hatchery, but yeah, choosing instead to go back home and play it, I guess, hyper safe. A bit of an unusual choice, but hey, he's still doing fairly well on 69 workers. Nice. To the 71 of Denver. And his army supply slightly ahead as well, so I'm not gonna complain about that. Burrowed Ling here scouting everything.
Yeah, no, the fact that this 3-3 is on the way, Aqueron is still very much ahead in this game, and look at the resources lost. Almost, yeah, no, it's double. It is double in favor of Aqueron right now. That is, and we're not talking about 500 to 1,000. We're talking about 9,000 to 18,000 resources lost. And, well, that's not sustainable in a ZBT.
Not sustainable at all. Absolutely not. 3-3 finishing up for Aqueron now as the Hive Tech just gets started for Denver. So Denver's upgrade's going to be significantly behind as well. A giant upgrade advantage and a big bank being built up for Aqueron now, who's maxed out. These Baneling bombs have got to be really good. Oh, Steadfast, zoom in for me, buddy. Zoom in.
Oh, that was so disappointing. He didn't detonate one of the Banelings on the top left.
Man.
You saw he scanned, and that's the first time ever that a scan has been justified after Banelings were detonated. Oh, this is a big surround coming in from Denver, but it's a little bit disjointed. Liberator's getting huge shots on the Mutas. The spread is a little bit late for Denver, but he may be able to clean this up. Will take out all of the tanks, and even though the Mutas are heavily bruised up, they are going to be able to disengage. However, Aqueron may be able to fight, force a fight, while these Mutas are still low on HP. Oh my god, look at how overstimmed these Marines are. But they're going to get right on top of the Banelings.
Yeah, he does get on top of the Banelings, though. And overstimming, never great, but in that case, very worth it to clear out 9-10 Banelings that certainly would have forced, if not at least a lot of splitting and microing back, but at least some dead Marines there. So really well done. The big problem right now for Denver is that he hasn't cleared out this Mutaflock at all. The Mutalisk flock's still at 18, so he's been doing a pretty good job of, Denver's been doing a pretty good job of keeping those Mutalisks alive, giving a bit more utility.
and Aqueron moving way too far on to creep. Denver, after picking off some reinforcements, including a tank, he is going to now swallow up this army. Now, this is very important. Aqueron did pick off that base finally on the top side. And, well, he's still got that upgrade advantage with the 3-3 versus just the 2-2. 2-2, or sorry, 3-3 for Denver has still not started up. How many mutas? No, he still hasn't lost any since that disastrous fight in the middle. So Denver, besides being forced into bad fights with the mutas, he has done a really good job of retaining them.
Completely agree. Let's see. Aqueron going to try and sneak out of here. There. Nice snipe. Nice snipe. Mutas will get pushed away, but he's still, yeah, as you said, making those 8 Marines at a time, scrubbing in some more Marauders. I love that he's prepping, not just for those Marauders to soak up the Veiling shots, but also in case there's an Ultralisk transition or something. By the way, that Hive is finished up. No Ultralisk Cavern, no Greater Spire, no +3/+3, no Adrenal Glands for the Lings. Denver skipping a lot of crucial upgrades right now that could be putting him even further ahead this game.
Yeah, no, he really needs those upgrades. The lack of 3-3, the lack of all of the upgrades you mentioned, even if he doesn't actually get Hive Tech, you need to have relatively even upgrades. And then, of course, that Adrenal Glands, so useful for Ling run-bys, for just fights in general. Not having any of that, and not having anything more than +1 attack on these mutas, it's a problem. It is a real problem. Now, he is going to find quite a bit of damage at this base, picking off all of the turrets, and, wow, 9 SCVs. Ooh, fighting the Marines for just a moment there. And he will lose a couple of these mutas. Oh, boy, this is a very bold move. He has now moved himself into a position where he is trapped, but the first Thor is just now starting, so he's not going to get punished for it. And meanwhile, oh, Ling's getting into the 4th base, or 3rd base, I should say. Now this planetary is very much on its own.
Yeah. Man, 24 kills. This is exactly what Denver needs to do with these Mutalisks, right? Use them to maintain an economic position of advantage and then slowly choke your opponent out. We can see Aqueron only making 1 Thor right now. He'd love to make like 2 or 3. Get the planetary. Nice. He'd love to be making more Thors than this. Try to drive something out. Try and drive more of these Mutalisks out, but unfortunately he's just not going to be able to have enough oomph in his diet to do that. So Denver now is sitting on, let's see, 1, 2, 3 mining bases, 2.5 mining bases maybe, whereas Aqueron's only on 1.5. And this game getting a lot worse for Aqueron as it goes on. He was in such a strong position earlier.
Yes, he was. He's going to be floating his main command center over towards that 4th base location to try and get his mining back into a good spot. Oh, nice find right here for the Zerg player. And Denver, ooh, even picking off a couple of rallying medevacs. This is really starting to look good for Denver. He still desperately needs that 3-3 upgrade setup because Aqueron... Oh no. Oh, Zerg Nightmares! Oh, God, that was...
Jesus.
That was really bad, but that could have been even worse.
It definitely
34 mutas have gone down in this game.
Jiminy Christmas. Ultralisk Cavern finally being built. Adrenal Glands finally going down. +3/+3 just starting for Denver, who realizes he can't win on the back of Mutalisks alone. And now the Lings and Bane's going to come into this planetary. I normally don't condone Banelings up against buildings, but that is totally worth it to deny one of the only remaining mining bases for our boy Aqueron. And now Denver is going to be in a good shape.
Yes, but this is the scary moment that I was thinking of. No 3-3. It's just now started. Adrenal Glands will be done in time with this fight. But this is a really, really scary situation for Denver. Oh, but wow, a pretty... I was surprised that there was Banelings there ready to fight. But Aqueron was not. The Marauders tanking in the front, doing a really good job against those Banelings. Huge surround coming in from Denver. Base out all of the Widow Mines, and now the Banelings are going to try and get on top of the army. And, well, most of the medevacs, the Thors, all of the front line getting taken down, and Aqueron, no energy left on his medevacs. His units are heavily overstimmed, but he will get the base.
He will get the base, and that's clutch, man. You gotta find some value in these trades, whether it's economic or military. So he will get the base, but these Mutalisks are now on the way across the map, gonna try and drive back Aqueron and prevent him from going out any further. And Aqueron will be bringing his army all the way back. These Mutalisks could be clutch right here.
Yeah, they're going to pick off quite a few SCVs, shut down the mining at this base. Even though it's only 3 mineral patches, this is still really nice because it's more and more control going in the favor of Denver and shutting down Aqueron's map presence. And, oh, he is going to be able to take out both of these turrets. Oh, man, the damage continues. And, well, 29 SCVs for Aqueron. How good is that economically, Creighton?
Again, I know you had your TI-84 out earlier, but but I've got to get mine out now to see if that's worth it. Aqueron now down to 29 workers. If we look at that income advantage, it's going to be way in favor of Denver again very shortly. So I'm really excited to see if Denver can put the kibosh on this. He's been waiting so long to make this happen, but it's simply not, he hasn't been able to quite snap it off yet. And he really needs to. He's not changing his strategy up or anything. He's built that Ultraless Cavern, but hasn't built anything out of it yet. He has the Hive Tech, but hasn't gone to Greater Spire. 3-3 finally about to finish up, but I don't even know if that's going to be enough for him to really end the game. Killing a bio player is like killing a cockroach. You really got to have something definitive to make it end.
Yeah, and I would say the Ultralisks are definitely that next move. Now, this is a huge flank coming in from Denver. He is going to get all the Banelink connections he could ever dream of, and that should be it. At least, well, actually, maybe not. 17 drones getting picked off on the bottom side of the map. The medevacs will get cleaned up by these mutas, and Aqueron does lose his entire army, but he gets a lot of counterattack damage. However, dealing with these mutas, he can't. Oh man, this orbital, it actually might go down. Yes, it will.
What a snipe there from Aqueron. Very nicely done. Or from Denver, rather. Very nicely done. Aqueron now down to, if we check our, if you check the structures tab, look at how many bases he's got. Remember when Hero Marine had 14 pizza ovens earlier? Aqueron down to just 1 right now. Oh, poor guy. He's floating it over to try and get more stuff done. But it's going to be real rough. Denver now taking the 12 o'clock base to continue his Empire expansion. But Aqueron's on the hunt now, and he does have a pretty scary army. The problem is, look at his mineral count. It was at 0 there for a minute before the orbital command landed, and it made me really happy.
I always love to see when SCVs are just like, oh, what do you want us to do? We can't drop it off anywhere. Why do you expect this from us? What's going on? Fighting on creep once again. Denver, he clears out all of the frontline Widow Mines. There are still 6 Widow Mines with this army, but no Marines. The Banelings are going to get the last connections. And, well, Aqueron down to 32 supply will finally be forced to tap out. And Denver with a huge comeback, showing a lot of resilience in this game. Excellently done.
Very well played by Denver indeed, no question about it. Aqueron had a couple really nice opportunities to end that game on a W and just wasn't able to find the right position. His army composition seemed to be just fine, but just couldn't quite make it work there in that game number 1. So we'll hop into game number 2 here. Gonna be on Death Aura LE. What advice would you give right now for Aqueron if he wants to win game number 2?
I think, honestly, he had a lot going his way. I think being a little bit more tenacious about creep spread clear. So, for example, after he killed that 4th base, he had so much initiative and control of the map. If he had, as he was taking his 4th command center, gone up to that top side base, cleared out all the creep there, maybe sent a single drop to the bottom side to clear out the creep on the right side.
Sure.
Even spending, I would have been fine with spending 4 scans to do that, but he was so stingy with his scans, and that, even though he had blunted the creep spread of Denver for so long, it wasn't enough for him to like really make the Zerg player feel cramped and cornered. And well, my advice would be a little bit more liberal with your scans.
That's really solid advice, actually. It reminds me of what we talked about just before the game started. We were saying both of these players have a really good command, build orders, micro, all the stuff you expect, but they just need maybe a little bit more guidance and a little bit more practice with things like when to use those scans, how to establish map dominance a little bit better, and how to find positioning and get your army a little bit more set. So, good advice, I think, for Aqueron. We'll see if he takes it here in game number 2 on Death Aura LE, and we'll be hopping in right away. Steadfast, I'm going to follow my camera this game here. I had some lag issues in the previous game with those big zooming wide fights you were showing, so I better stay safe this time.
No problem. Do you know what number you are?
I don't, actually. You can hit Control-Shift-O to find me, though.
Control-Shift-O.
Go.
Hey, look at that. I accidentally found it by accident.
Nice. Spot
As opposed to accidentally finding it on purpose.
Spawning
And-
in the bottom left-hand side, it's our blue Zerg player representing France and currently working with TKAP on a little short-term support contract. It is Denver. Is he going to see it? He's not going to see it.
Oh. And his opponent spawning up in the top left position of the map. The red Terran player going for this cheeky proxy 3 racks. It is Team Roddy's Aqueron. I like that you did the zoom in on the barracks.
Yeah, well,
That
nobody
is
cares what's happening
fantastic.
in the main base right now. I always do that with
it doesn't
with
matter.
the double or triple proxy racks. I always zoom in on the barracks because that's what we should be caring about right now. All right, so this could be a real quick one. I was just thinking earlier, the previous game went to over 20 minutes. This game looks like it might not. I mean, it's always possible that it like partially succeeds and, you know, we go into some weird wonky mid to late game. But a triple proxy rack steadfast. What are your initial thoughts as you see this build coming out from Aqueron?
Well, if you don't see it coming, honestly, proxy 2 and 3 racks have an insane win rate. I feel like I never see this strategy lose, you know?
I feel like a Zerg player would definitely agree with that statement, right?
No, it's so it's a little bit interesting because it is very strong when it goes unscouted, which it currently is. Denver is going to keep that Overlord back at the natural expansion, and he's actually going to go out to take a third base, which, by the way, is not the answer to this build.
Okay.
But a lot of players have, in case you were wondering, a lot of players have started going for a different response here with a drone scout in EU, a lot of EU Zergs, but that's not going to be the case. And as a result, the first alert that Denver gets is when there's a bunker starting up in range of his hatchery, and he's going to try and pull lings and drones, but against 3 racks, that is going to be a bad time unless you can get a really good surround, but he can't. No, The Marines will escape, and, well, this is going to be a rough time. Even the SCV on the bunker not getting taken out here. We will see the re-engage. Oh, he gets the SCV. The bunker not getting up. That actually is a game-saving maneuver. Not to say that he's going to actually hold here, but if that bunker got up, I think it was game over.
My God, that bunker could not be any closer to finish. That progress bar is completely full. How? I mean, come on. One of the Marines can surely just like nudge it with their arm and put it into place. As it is, Aqueron's going to be forced to cancel that, but he does have a huge clump of Marines now, and the ling count not that auspicious right now for Denver. Just 8. He's got 8 more on the way, but 16 lings is still a hard sell against this many Marines.
Oh, and look at the mini-map. Look at the income. SCVs, choo-choo, says Aqueron, and he is looking to put the kibosh on Denver right now. Denver just now starting to spine. He does have a lot of energy on these queens, and he does have the drones at the natural, so he can pull those drones as well as ling speed. Oh no, he canceled that spine crawler. Well, I guess getting lings out is more valuable here, but this is going to be so difficult, and the Marines are going to get into a great position here. Oh no, the lings get so choked up. They get a posthumous surround, but Denver's dead. And there we go, the G coming out. Aqueron gonna pull the trigger with that 3 racks and turn things around in this series. 1-1 every single game. Every single series has gone to game number 3.
This is insane. We're definitely we gotta start asking if we can get paid by the hour instead of getting our regular salaries. This is insane. It's I'm pretty sure the EUB stream has been finished for every single day today, or every single other day. It's been finished by now, and somehow today we're still going. Are we behind the A stream even, I wonder? I think we're even with the A stream, and that's without us running little breaks all over the place like the A stream has to do. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. And well, I wonder if we're gonna see Aqueron try and go for something similar. I have to assume Denver's gonna be on high alert for this. Yeah, I would be almost disappointed if he didn't go for a little bit of a drone scout, not all the way across the map, but just checking in, you know, suspicious proxy locations. Because it definitely left him a little bit exposed.
Gotta agree with you here. Denver's one of those players who does occasionally get caught by stuff like this, and I actually don't know. Have you ever met Denver? I've never had the opportunity to do so.
I don't think so. I think he was at DreamHack, but I didn't actually get the chance to interact with him. He may have been at Meltdown, which is like well, yeah, you know about Meltdown. There's a Meltdown in Montreal.
Right.
I don't think I had the opportunity to like talk to him at all, but I'm pretty sure he was there.
Interesting.
By the way, they're a blast to hang around with. They're just the EU players are just they're just fantastic. They're great people.
Definitely. I was just trying to think if Denver's going to be emotional right now about that loss. I feel like it's probably not going to, but there's always the possibility that after losing to a proxy 3 racks and a game you should have just won 2-0, got to be a little frustrated at least. I wonder if we're going to see any of that in his play this time around. But guys, let's get into our final game of the series here. Game number 3 on Eternal Empire LE. And spawning in the top right-hand side in the red from Team Roddy, it is our Spanish Terran player. His name is Aqueron.
Not going to be going for that proxy racks this game, and his opponent spawning down in the bottom left, representing a conglomerate of French interest, special interest groups focused mainly on StarCraft 2.
That makes it sound very evil.
Right? Yeah, it does. Like the stonecutters from The Simpsons. It is Denver.
Steadfast. That's exactly. It sounds like he should have like a goatee and be sipping a brandy in a quiet hall somewhere, and someone's like, "Pardon me, sir, what do you do?" And he's like, "I represent a I don't know why he has a British accent. I represent a conglomerate of French interests in the esports scene." And you're like, "Ooh, you're definitely a James Bond villain."
You are not someone I should trust, aren't you? Speaking of last game and the effects on it in this game, we are seeing a very, very detailed drone scout. Look at that mini-map and look at what Denver has looked around for. He's kept his overlords very, very close, really dotting his T's and crossing those I's, you know? Crossing those I's, trying to find the barracks, of course, and dotting those T's with sugar and milk to give him a little extra energy.
Nicely done.
That's what you call a recovery, folks.
That was really solid.
But yeah, no, that's to speak to what you were saying earlier. It had an effect. We can't tell if it was a negative emotional effect, but it was definitely an effect on what happened in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, obviously every SC or every drone that's out on the map is a drone that's not mining, and it seems so simple to say, but I mean, my God. You got to think about that kind of stuff. Oh, the third base going to get denied here. And oh, nice juke by the drone there. Might be able to get on. Oh, barely makes it onto that extractor. Aqueron desperately trying to pick it off, but it comes very close. So we'll see if Denver can sneak down that third base again very quickly. Aqueron.
He's going to try in a moment, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he should. Aqueron's saving up a bunch of money, though. Is he going to double? Yeah, he is. Look at that. One, and then Huablamo. Third. Command center coming down quite quickly for Aqueron. How do you feel about this play?
I like it a lot. Really cool move, by the way, coming out of Denver. It's something that Scarlet... oh, he's not going to commit to it. Okay, so the first 4 lings that you normally use for the Reaper defense, whenever the Terran player sends that Reaper all the way over to the third command, or the third hatchery location right away, and it kind of commit to trying to block that for a while, some Zerg players have started going for a counterattack with the first 4 lings, and it can really make things complicated and uncomfortable for the Terran on the other side of the map. You know, there's sometimes no marine out. There's or if there is, it's in a little bit exposed. You got a micro in 2 places at once, and it's just uncomfortable. But Denver got all the way to his opponent's watchtower and then just backed off. So a little bit surprising he didn't commit in there. Wasn't going to be able to deny the command center, but still, you know.
One of the interesting things about Denver's play right now is, as you said earlier, he was being so cautious about that, you know, maybe getting all in again on that triple proxy racks or something.
These Hellions. Looks like they were able to pick off a creep tumor by using the splash damage from the rocks. Sorry, go on.
No, that's really sharp observing there. Really nicely done. Getting creep tumors early on is so freaking valuable in Aqueron. Finding some good value there with these initial Hellions. But anyway, what I was going to say is that Denver's been playing so conservatively, he hasn't been able to get a scout in until just now. So now this Overlord finally sees that third base, sees the Starport barrack and factory finishing up, and does see the Tech Lab going down on the barrack. So he knows that it's probably going to be Stim. It's a little too late to swap over for like a Cloaked Banshee or something. So it's still a good scout from Denver, but a little bit later than he might have otherwise wanted it to be. And I wonder if he's built maybe a little too many army units for where he is right now. Probably didn't need all these lings on the map right now, but he might want them actually, because there are a lot of Hellions coming.
Yeah, you need those as kind of safety lings. In fact, he doesn't have enough, and Aqueron is going to be able to get into the natural and pick off quite a few drones right here. Getting damage here is very bad for Denver. This is really, really nice. 10 drones already getting picked off, and even a couple more will go down. Now, the Queens are going to kind of bungle them up there. Bungle those Hellions up, but that was super value. Aqueron now down 7 workers. He will, of course, slam down that drone key, but there's 2 more Hellions that showed up. This attack is not over. He only has 4 lings right now, and if another run by comes, we might see another 5 or 6 drones go down.
Yeah, these Queens moving to the edge of creep, moving off creep, in fact, and they're finally sniping the low-health Hellions. I was going to say, one of the reasons that attack lasted for so much longer than it should have is the Queens had not done a good job of focus firing down those Hellions. There were a bunch of weakened Hellions, but not a bunch of dead Hellions for quite some time. So by not focus firing the Hellions appropriately, Denver actually lost an awful lot more there than he should. And we will see some lings poking at this third base, but he should get cleaned up here very quickly. Aqueron coming back home to deal with those.
Yeah, Aqueron does miss the 4th base coming down. He checked that safe location. Hasn't seen that Denver actually took the greedy high yield gas location. I say greedy, it's a relative thing. It really depends on where your creep spread is coming down, and his creep is actually a little bit better towards that high yield base, but still, this is a more exposed base for sure.
This is one of them bases that makes... I feel like every map has these really unique spots where you're like, oh yeah, I've seen 1,000 really great fights right there. And Eternal Empire, no exception. I always feel like I see an amazing fight right here on Eternal Empire, just outside this 4th base. It's fairly wide open. There's still a choke point. There's a really interesting area on the top side here if you want to plant some tanks or something. TVZ on this map is great, but there's always a good push this 4th base. And our Zerg players, I'm sure, have gotten really good at defending it. But you're right, a very risky place to start out. Spire on the way now for Denver as he pushes into the 3rd base as well. Try and get some damage done here, and yeah, Aqueron a little out of position. We'll lose maybe an SCV or 2, but not too much here.
Yeah, Aqueron just checking, seeing if that was a wall. He realizes there's a little gap in there, should put 1 more depot. Yeah, there we go. Fills that up. Actually, wait, is that actually looks like it's still not a wall.
It's really tough to tell with this dude
left
on the
side,
corner, right?
Yeah, if the left side is not a wall, I don't think this additional building is a wall. It honestly... I can't tell. I still cannot tell. I think that's an opening. Yeah, no, I think you're right about that. I think there's an opening there. Sorry, I just like responded to myself, but what I was actually responding to was your camera movement.
That's what I was giving it to you for. Yeah, that's a really tricky one. I tell you, one of my favorite things about StarCraft, and I'll say it every single day because I think it bears repeating, that StarCraft is a game with some of the best affordances in all of StarCraft 2, or in all of video gaming, where if you see something on StarCraft, without knowing anything about the game, you kind of know how it works, right? You see these guys with guns, and you know they're going to be able to shoot at these guys with claws, right? They're ranged units because they have guns. These guys don't have any guns. They got little claws in the front. They probably have to do melee damage. StarCraft's great at little tricks like that. The one place it falls down is on those Terran walls, where sometimes you just cannot tell with the artwork if it's a full wall or not. Nice surround, though, here from Denver. And, of course, Aqueron back yet again.
Yeah, now Aqueron did get a nice little scan and cleared out a little bit of that creep, but Denver, he's got the Queens right there. He's going to immediately go for that once again. Now, Aqueron, once again, going for this 8-rack setup. His +2 attack was quite delayed, but Denver's 2-2 starting up is very delayed as well. In fact, his Carapace was also a little bit late to start his +1. This is a little bit tough. Now, Aqueron did get a 4th command center with this, so I don't think it's going to be quite as committed as of a push. In fact, he's also going up to a 2nd factory, so he's just playing a lot more flexibly here. But it still feels like he wants to get aggressive off of this relatively early 8 racks. He just wants to have a quicker transition into into quote-unquote more normal play. Cool little counterattack getting set up here. May buy Denver a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think so. These SCVs just transferring over to that fourth base is going to be, that's going to bring Aqueron all the way back home to deal with this. The wall has been raised, but man, Mulisks don't care about the wall, do they? 4 SCVs going down, maybe 5 or 6, but they will get cleaned up eventually. And Aqueron not going to be delayed for too long here. This is a real scary push. Look at the supply right now, Steadfast. It looks real good for Aqueron.
Yes, it does. And, well, here is a big problem for him, though. +2 armor will be done. +2 attack is not. So he should have a 2-tier upgrade lead. It's only going to be 1. And it's that much less important upgrade, the +2 armor. +2 attack, so much more valuable because you want to be having your units fight before, well, you want to get your damage in before the fight happens. Another Baneling Nest getting sniped right here.
What is it with Denver and losing Baneling Nests, man? It's been 2 games, maybe 3 where that's happened? No, 2 games where it's happened because he got proxy racks. Anyway, I do love that Aqueron is setting these units in little tiny waves, right? He's got a bunch of Marines in reserve back here, but he's just sending forward 8 Marines, 10 Marines at a time to try and move forward and maybe bait out some Baneling shots and weaken some Mutalisks as best he can. Does not want to leave these tanks unguarded by Marines. So far, though, he's engaging really, really well here. Denver going for a counter push of some Marines, but man, Aqueron moving across the map one by one. All these Marines slipping their way through.
Yeah, this is nice counterattack damage, but Aqueron pushing through at the natural. He is going to kill this hatchery, and, well, Mutas are going to go for some tank snipes. They do take them down, but this is looking really, really problematic for Denver. He is down 50 supply right now, and Aqueron, he is looking very, very poised in this game. Now, it's not over yet. +2 does finish up now for the Zerg player. That will equalize these upgrades, but this position for Denver to deal with, it's a nightmare. It is such a nightmare to deal with this position with the tanks entrenched the way they are and those rocks still up. And, well, Banelings are going to try and come in from multiple angles, but it's not going to be enough. Huge tank shots on the Banelings. Oh, that is devastating.
Beautifully done there. That's the biggest thing you've got to, well, one of the biggest things you've got to do as a Terran player is make sure that those target fires happen. There are some Ling run-bys going down on the other side, but those get cleaned up by the reinforcements, and Aqueron is going to be able to stim his way to a win here. GB